Nick. Future Nick owns a multi-$100 million business that is built on the foundations of faith and sovereignty and community. And there's one more that I am forgetting. But it is a business that's whole goal is to be community oriented, in the eyes of the Lord, helping people to chase after their passions and make money through their own self fulfilling business, or at least become much better employees working for a job that doesn't use and abuse them. Because I feel like that is a plague of our day. I'm using the crappier version to record this because I am still at my workplace. I clocked out early so that way I can go ahead and get this video done, because I have a lot of stuff to do. So I just skipped my lunch and I just hammered on. So I will talk about what I did for them first. That was a lots of boring SEO and Google My Business stuff. I made a better landing page, which I can't show you because there's proprietary information. I put together some offers and did some research into ad methods. So my boss basically said, like, here's a marketing budget and we want to try some other things outside of only Facebook. And I said, sounds good. Let me throw some things together, and basically really ironed out, like, how can we plug these leaks? And I think a lot of it is just messaging. So in landscaping, we're kind of thinking of doing a instead of just like, hey, let me transform your backyard, because that takes a lot of trust that you have to build up with a client over a long period of time. And I have a hold on. I wonder if you can hear me if I just clip this right here. I hope so, because that makes it easier for me. But if I come here, there is the like a well analogy, and the longer you're in business, the more you're filling up these wells. So like first, you have your entire life worth of people. Let's say that that's the first well, and then that has water in it. And over time, you're in business and you draw from this well over and over and over again. And while you draw from this well, hopefully other wells are being filled out. And that's like, this is like friends and family and stuff like that. This is like word of mouth and whatnot. And you get those referrals. Also, you got to start building up the well of your search engine optimization and your Google ranking and your email list and your list of past customers that you can reach back out to, etc. So these wells take like months or years to fill, and you can draw from them really, really quickly. So what I'm trying to learn how to do is, how can I like pull from these wells while building another well? So like I'm currently drawing from these two, and while I draw from these two, I'm trying to figure out, how can I hook up a hose to continuously pump this one up with water. So that's probably a bad analogy. But basically what I've been doing today is I've been trying to fill up this hose. So I'm not going to see a lot of these results right now. But like I said at the beginning, it's hard to get somebody. I could pull from these wells and say, hey, we'll transform your backyard. And that's what we've been doing for 20 years. And you get to a point where you no longer have the trust, because the well isn't built, to just say, hey, let's spend $7,000 on a backyard redesign. So in order to build that trust, you do smaller offers, you give away free stuff, you build goodwill, you do cheap stuff. So what we did was we built out an offer that it's basically what we do anyway, clean up stuff and do landscaping, but we positioned it in such a way that makes it look like a lot less committal, like hey, winter's coming, we're about to go for our winter seasonal colors, but instead of paying all this for a winter seasonal color, like, let's just get your beds ready for the winter. Summer's coming to an end, and it's a much less commitment. So we're going to run that for like a month and a half to 2 months, and see how that performs. And basically it's starting at $500, we'll do a cleanup, blah blah blah. And while we're there on site, that's when we do the upsell of like, man, this would look really good with some seasonal colors, or this would look really good with blah blah blah, or hey, I noticed some standing water, would you want to do this next? And basically, if the person has the money and they are in the buying mood, they're ready to like start upgrading their yard anyway, and we're on site, that's when we pitch the next step in the plan. So like, hey, we just sold you this $500 thing, how about this $1,500 thing? And instead of selling a $700 or a $7,000 package all at once, you kind of tippy toe in there. So that's basically what I was doing for my current job, which actually laddered up to this because I did lots of research and kind of some research on some calls that we have booked, which I'm pretty stoked because my brother is killing it. He's doing all the outreach and I'm doing all the back end stuff. Um, and he's just crushing it. He's getting people on the calls, and then I jump on the calls, and my job is to be the sales guy and to close them and what we're doing. Um, so that's pretty sweet. So today I fixed the ads for the fourth time this week because they still weren't live. They keep giving me error messages and stuff. And this latest time, I just forgot to hit publish, so they stayed in draft for 24 hours. So we'll see how that works. If I go look at my landing page, though, I guess this is from just the ads we've been doing or the videos we sent out there. Actually, right before I started recording, this was only at 9. So again, this is the split test. 50% of the traffic goes to 2 different things, just so I could test 2 different headlines. And this is a brand new thing. So the emails that my brother and I are sending out are actually working because people are clicking on them, they're viewing, they're still not booking, but clearly people are. We're at least getting them to open up the emails and see what we have to offer, which is pretty good. And of course, 10 is not nearly enough data to make a decision on whether or not these are performing well. But it's pretty cool to see outreach numbers actually doing something. What else did I do for my business? Oh, I did a lot of research on plumbers because we have a plumber one coming up. I'm not going to do whatever I was going to do in ChatGPT because I don't want this to be a long video, but I was basically going to show through one of my AI researching processes. Something I did want to do though, let me go ahead and blur some things. All right, so one of the things I did was I just searched tree trimming in Houston, and I have these top few blurred out. I guess it doesn't matter that much because anybody can search tree trimming in Houston. But what else I did is I came here, and I'll have to block out some of this information, but I wanted to just talk about like websites and just in general. So like this looks pretty good on the surface, but I want to show you some cool tools that I use to make sure that I'm actually making you lots of money. And another thing that, or not you specifically, but like the clients who I work with, because you're probably not interested in what I have to offer, but you're just following along for the ride, which is cool. But one of the things I wanted to show is that this thing is just like, this is above the fold. So if I scroll down, that becomes below the fold. Everything that you see at top, like when you first hit a page, that's what's called above the fold. And this one is just a little bit of like a little overwhelming. So you have a request estimate here. You got all these different colors of things to do right here. You have a call button right here. There's a phone number here. And then you have all these different links. And then you have this whole side panel, and then you have another request estimate. When you first get here, it's a lot to look at. So I like to just assume that people who land on my website have a 3rd grade reading level. And that's not to be insulting, but I mean, if you look at the statistics, most people don't have very much higher than like a 5th grade reading level. And quite frankly, I prefer to read at a 3rd grade reading level because reading things that's complex takes more brain power. And if what I want is a tree service, I'm not trying to use a lot of brain power to decide which tree service I want to use. So by dumbing down the language, it doesn't mean that your audience is more dumb. It just means that you just make it simpler in a way for them to understand it better. And what we're looking at here is like a lot of stuff. So I have all these bright colors. I have all these different things to click on. I got 2 different request estimates, and then I have a call. When I like to design my websites, I usually put like up here is just the navigation bar, and it's all one color until you highlight it. So there's no green until you actually highlight it because it doesn't scare you away. I might have a button up here that says call with a phone number. So that way, if you're on desktop, you could type in the phone number. Oops. That fell. Hopefully that didn't scare you too bad. And then the other piece is then I have like a review request right here. So instead of 2 request estimates, I'd probably swap this for a phone number. I would clean this up a lot. I would put all these icons at the very bottom, and I'm not going to scroll down there because I don't want to give away this information. And then this stuff looks, okay. And you can see that this is the H1s that I was talking about. This is H1 right here. Professional tree maintenance and tree removal contractors. So he's just loading it up with Google search keywords. in location and surrounding areas, so that way Google can pick this one up. Cool tool I wanted to show you is it's called Screaming Frog. I'm assuming that you can see my screen. I'm gonna have to blur a lot of this out anyway, but it's a tool that's free. It's called Screaming Frog, SEO Spider, and it basically sends out some robots that mimic the way that Google crawls websites. And to make this a little bit more digestible, I made a cute little diagram. So SEO, of course, stands for search engine optimization. You get more chances to be found. This is what the average SEO looks like. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different pages, and then this is like your main website, and the main website has 8 pages, and they're connected super basically. So when Google crawls, Google's looking for stuff. It gets caught between these gaps. It might miss everything, and it might not even bring your information up. That's a really rudimentary way of explaining it. But basically, think of each of these lines as like a chance to catch somebody. So let's say it's a 3% chance to catch somebody. If I'm a Google bot and I do like this, I get 3, 6. There's a 9% chance that I find your website with this search term of tree or tree cutting or whatever. By having optimized SEO, you have lots of pages and they're very connected. So this page connects to the main page, but it also connects to the sub page, and it also connects to this page over here. It also connects to these pages and these pages. So this one page touches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. So when the Google robot goes to look through, it's hitting all of these lines, and then there's a much higher chance that it catches on any of them and then brings to your main site or to one of your sub pages. So hopefully that makes sense. And the way you accomplish this right here is by linking pages to each other. So it's like when you go check a landscaping thing and it says, hey, if you like this, you should also check out our lawn care. If you like the lawn care, you should also check out our sprinklers. If you like the sprinklers, you should also check out our landscape lighting. All of these things are connected, and when they link to another page, it draws another one of these lines for Google to help read and navigate the website, and it helps you be found. So the tool that I just ran this URL through is going to tell me lots of things. Let me go to issues. And this is a well-optimized website, actually. So you see I only have a few no indexed URLs. It looks like I have 23 pages total instead of like the average 8 to 7. I have multiple H1s in some of these URLs, which is not ideal. And then there's lots of opportunities here, but you can see the difference between the opportunities that's like it helps you get ranked higher versus the issues that it's like, hey bro, you're not getting found at all, versus the warnings that's like, hey, this isn't ideal, but it's not actually hurting you, but like you can totally make this better. And then you see the priority there. So just by knocking down all these medium to high priorities, you could probably bump yourself up 15 to 20% in the Google ranks. So that could be the difference from like middle of page 2 to bottom of page 1. So that's the kind of stuff that I do, and that's how I find these issues. And most of the time I will export that file. Hopefully you actually saw that screen and you weren't just looking at this the whole time, but if so, I'll slap a screenshot up so that way you can see it. I'll just do that in post. But yeah, that's kind of how that works. So that's my quick daily update versus my quick lesson for the day of things that I'm learning and building and growing. If you watched this video, if you have been keeping up with the daily updates, I appreciate it. If you're from the future and I've become really famous and you went back to watch how I started, this is it. I'm in a 10 by 15 really hot office in the middle of a metal shed, and I have no sunlight, and I'm staring at my computer all day. So the grind is real. I appreciate you coming back and watching, or if you're currently watching, then I appreciate you supporting me as I continue to do this. Please keep praying for me. Pray for this mission and the vision. Pray for the church and for the country, whatever country you're a part of, the world, that we could do things that lift each other up, help us to lead more fulfilling lives, more loving lives. And I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace out and God bless.